more action tonight for North Texas as we are about to get things started. Officials for tonight, Brandon Gardner, the lead referee for the Crew. Also going to be keeping in mind hydration for them. There will be a couple hydration breaks because of the heat. Well over 100 degrees to start action here today in Denton, Texas.
I know the players, they much appreciate the water breaks. They're well conditioned. They can handle playing in this heat. This is what they're both used to, but it's 99 degrees, feels like 104 though.
And the physicality, we're already seeing it here. Just about 30 seconds into the first half. And that's something also we talked about before the start, is just how physical both of these teams are and what they faced on Thursday. Alabama with 20 fouls in their loss to TCU on Thursday. North Texas, when they battled Oklahoma had 18 fouls. So again, the physicality is going to be something we'll keep in mind throughout the evening tonight.
Yeah, OU, they had 18 fouls. North Texas, they had 12 in that game. And really not a good foul here, and it's a dangerous spot for Alabama, just outside the box. They got size, so I wouldn't be surprised if they try to hit this into one of their teammates to deflect in.
And good defense by the Mean Green. An opportunity, and oh so close. North Texas surviving a early scare here in the first half. Maddie Ogden was there at the goal, and we're seeing a lot of early pressure from Alabama.
And maybe that's exactly what they needed, is the change up in the lineup to try to get a better start. I will say against TCU, they started that game well the first 5 minutes, but then TCU, you could tell they got their rhythm, and it really broke up the chemistry Alabama had at the start of the game.
Alabama looking very patient, and missed opportunity for North Texas. It'll stay on this side. Bama. Leah Cundy with it. Very patient, trying to find any opportunity inside. Good defense this time from North Texas. Bea Rosales sends it back. And more defense again. North Texas trying to get it. Contact. And once again, just a preview of what we'll continue to see tonight. Again, both of these teams, they're fighting for that first win on the season, and they know what it's going to cost.
Yeah, you can tell it's definitely getting a chippy start here, but that's what you want. You want to start off strong and try to set the tone and intimidate, if you can, your opponent. It looks like Maddie Ogden's going to come up to take the free kick on this one. Not surprised. She's got quite the leg on her. And if you get a wide shot of the field, you can see everybody's backing up, because this is going to easily probably get to the box.
That exactly is why Coach Hedlund loves what she can bring to the table every season. This one goes out of play. The throw in for North Texas. Really getting their first opportunity on the attack. Staying physical with it. And over and across. So a little too far for Niedermeyer. Goes right back to Alabama. So Alabama with an early shot. One foul for North Texas and Alabama early here in the first 3.5 minutes of play. Didn't look like there was any contact. North Texas decides to wave it off, and it'll go right back with the Mean Green.
Yeah, Jacqueline Barnes on that left back side doing a good job just running the ball out, and Barnes playing a different role in this game than she did Thursday against Oklahoma. Thursday she was playing more in the midfield. Now they've made the adjustment to put her back on that left side, and she had a great debut, looked really good. She's fast, she's skilled, so I think she's going to be great holding it back down there.
Another opportunity for Alabama. North Texas sends that one away and setting up another corner.
Really not a bad look here for the Crimson Tide. They do a good job going in hard on the tackle to get that shot off. So Juan was the one able to get the shot before North Texas deflected it to head it out, leading to this corner kick. But we're going to see a lot of combination play, I think, from the Crimson Tide outside the box to try to get shots off.
So another opportunity for Alabama on this corner. A little far in the placement, opportunity. And again, just a little left. That's 2 in a row for Alabama. They're getting opportunities, but haven't been able to capitalize just yet.
And what's dangerous about a corner kick on that side of the field is Maddie Ogden and all the North Tex, everybody is having to look into the sun. So as a goalkeeper, that's the last thing you want to have happen is the ball get lost in the sun as it's getting crossed into your box. So they have to be careful and mindful of when they are going to give up corner kicks. You don't want to give it up on that right side.
Ogden with a solid kick. The possession battle going back and forth. North Texas has it for the moment. But again, a sweltering defense from Alabama is a little too aggressive that time.
Hey, I like the pressure, though, that Alabama's trying to put on. Yeah, they did end up giving the foul away, but the double team, that's exactly what you want. It looks like we're getting a more fiery start here from Alabama versus what we saw against in the TCU game. To Gianna Paul. I think overall she'll probably be okay. Ella Bushko, one of those freshmen that's starting. She's actually teammates with Alexis Miller, so she has that comfortability of coming into a program, knowing some of the girls. Because as a freshman, that can be intimidating, coming into a team where you might not feel like you know anybody, but at least she has Alexis Miller. And Coach Hedlund, I mean, he's been really impressed with what Bushko has been able to do. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see her have several starts this season.
Yeah, and in total, really, Coach Hedlund, we talked to him earlier this week, just how impressed he's been with this freshman squad and the fight and the speed that they bring. He says it is really well balanced with their senior leadership and then this young talent. He's really excited with this year's squad.
Yeah, even though they have 12 freshmen coming in, he said if they don't feel like they're young, they have a lot of great confidence to them. We saw 6 freshmen play on Thursday, all of them getting at least 30 minutes. Emma King, she's a freshman. She saw 69 minutes on the pitch. So Coach Hedlund said, hey, if they're confident and they're good, he's not worried about sitting an upperclassman if a freshman competes and ends up beating them out of that spot.
Momentum has been all Bama early on here in the first half. 2 corner kicks, 3 shots to UNT 0. It's just been a physical start as we expected once again. Good defense from the Mean Green. They get it back and an opportunity. And once again, just like that, bodies all over the field. Good patience, brings it back out.
Yep, Roebuck doing a good job. Trying to slow the game down, find feet. That's what you want to do. If you're feeling a little rattled, which Alabama I think's got them rattled just a little bit, the best thing you can do is just get the ball on the ground, try to connect some passes so you can build up some chemistry and get comfortable.
So Roebuck sending it over to Flannery, and intercepted. Fight back over. There's Roebuck as she falls down and Bama gets it back. And we have a whistle. It'll be a foul on North Texas. Bea Rosales. Just a little too aggressive that time.
A little too aggressive, but again, another freshman getting the start. And hey, the way she's playing there, aggressive, I like that. She's not timid, and you can't be timid at this level. But the chippiness, it's going back and too strong. Didn't get enough of the ball, ended up taking down too much of the player.
Good defense once again for North Texas. Sends this one to the other side of the field. Alabama has the numbers. North Texas on the attack and an opportunity, but good defense from Bama to send it back out.
That really was a great look there by the Mean Green. It all started with Roebuck switching the point of attack, which by doing that, it caught Alabama off guard. You had Devin Flannery running to that backside, able to find Richards, who had that cheeky little pass through, and almost had another Mean Green player at the end of that, but good look.
Another opportunity for Alabama. Once again, good defense from North Texas.
You're almost at the end of that to get the shot off. Hopefully we can get more looks like that from the mean green.
And you know that chemistry is just going to get better, too. We talked about Richards not having been here very long. Doesn't even know all the players' names yet, but still seeing some playing time. Another corner opportunity for Alabama. And North Texas, for the moment. And it will go with North Texas. So again, good defense after another corner for Alabama.
Yeah, and again, giving it up on that side of the field is not ideal looking into the sun. But so far, North Texas doing a good job getting the clearances out of those corners and not allowing Alabama to capitalize.
Ogden heavily involved early in this first half. Back to the Crimson Tide. Going over left of the net, and that's been a common theme. It'll go right back with North Texas.
North Texas really needs to win those 50-50 balls in the midfield. So far, it seems like Alabama is able to control the midfield, and that's where we're seeing more success. Whoever can win that battle in the midfield more than likely is going to start generating more chances offensively.
Just about 10 minutes passed here in the first half, still knotted at 0. North Texas still looking for their first shot, though, in this first half. Majority of possession has been played on this right side for Alabama. 5 shots and 3 corners already for the Crimson Tide. 2 fouls and 1 save for North Texas. A lot of patience, great defense. The Mean Green pushed them further out. Here's an opportunity. Intercepted. UNT trying to get on the attack. They'll kick this one out. Give their defense a little bit of room. Good heads-up play for North Texas. They've been spending a lot of time protecting the net early in this first half.
They have. So far, the Crimson Tide, they're doing a good job just staying calm on the ball. Get their heads up. They're finding their teammates, getting great combination play. It almost had a good look there before they just turned it over. North Texas doing what they do best. Crimson Tide, they got to watch out for North Texas when it comes to that counter attack. They're really great hitting that long ball, and they got their own speed up top between Brown and Flannery, Claire Niedermeyer. They're all fast.
Good defense. Alabama stepping up when needed. And Brooke Steer getting her first start of the season. Last season, Alabama averaged just over 10 fouls a game, and they start the season with 20. And
Whew, yeah.
you know that I think that tells you. And Coach Hart doesn't necessarily have a problem with that. The physicality, he wants to see that from his squad this season.
I think the physicality is good, but when you start getting upwards of 20, you ask yourself why. Are you just one step too slow to get to the ball, so you're having to make fouls? We saw a lot of that in that TCU game, but I think so far in this game for Alabama, they look much better. The chemistry looks better. They don't look out of sync. And so I think the adjustments they've made so far are paying off for them in this game.
That was a great play by Rachel Roebuck, getting in front of the ball. Looks like she did it just again. We saw a lot early on from Alabama. It looked like they were hungry to score, and now North Texas trying to fight back, get on the other side of the field. Momentum is playing a big role, but also I'd like to mention playing even a bigger role. That heat, once again, both of these teams experienced it on Thursday. It was about the same temperature here in North Texas, and now once again over triple digits. How does that play a role, especially early on in the first half for these players?
Oh, I tell you what, it's going to definitely test your conditioning. That's why it is so important. You have to come in shape. You can't come in out of shape and then just hope you pass the fitness test. If you're not ready game 1, you're already behind. So I think for both teams, they are well conditioned, and they're both from the South. This heat is nothing new for them. So they're going to enjoy that water break. I'm going to tell you that, but I don't think it's going to be too much of a factor in this game. When you're playing at this level, you should be able to play in any type of weather condition, especially the heat.
And that really speaks volumes to Davia Richards, seeing significant playing time for North Texas. Just got here over a week ago, just a little over that time frame. They'll go out of play, and North Texas back in control. And let's see the footwork here. Great work by North Texas.
Yeah, Bea Rosales doing a good job. Despite all the footwork, she's keeping her eye on the ball. And well done to hit it off of the Crimson Tide to be able to get the throw in and get possession back.
And possession arrow stays with North Texas. Just under 30 minutes to go here in the first half. Knotted up at 0. Alabama trying to pounce on offense, but North Texas has been stubborn defensively. Nearly losing it is Roebuck. And Alabama back with it.
Yeah, Alabama doing a great job. Again, just double teaming and applying the pressure so that those turnovers happen and they get that advantage of having the ball back.
And Steer sends it over to the far side. Alabama looking a little more patient. Not in any rush whatsoever.
And I think that's good. They didn't quite have that type of patience or time on the ball when they went against TCU. I think if UNT could do anything better like TCU did, that's applying pressure. North Texas, we've seen there's here and there they are applying pressure, but not nearly as much pressure as we saw from the Horned Frogs on Thursday. And it was that type of pressure that really rattled them. So the more you're giving Clemson Tide to have time on the ball, it's not going to play in your favor.
Opportunity for Alabama, and there's Ogden. And she has been phenomenal to start the year. North Texas just trying to find anything. There's Richards going down, and we have a whistle. Might have been a little contact at the head. Hope she's all right.
Yeah, that is not a player for North Texas that you want to see come down on the ground holding their head. Again, the physicality coming through. We have Brooke Steer, who had that header against Richards, but here's that look that Alabama had with Paul. That's a play. One bad touch, that's where Ogden was able to sweep and get it up.
Ogden sailing this one very close, and a solid defensive play from Laie to keep that out of the net.
And there were two mean green players at the end of that pressuring Laie. I know for Alabama, that's not something that you want to see. It is them not marking up tightly and allowing two people to run like that.
A great play defensively from Emma King. Nearly results in a goal. And it'll be a save for Laie, who has gotten a lot more involved over the last minute or so.
Yeah, another good save there by Laie, because Flannery had that great shot. It was a one-touch shot, too. She had time to maybe take a touch if she wanted, but I think by going with shooting it with the first touch, that's a good way to try to throw off the keeper, try to test her. But again, Alabama allowing players to go unmarked on your backside. They better clean that up, because those are the type of mistakes that will cost you.
That was Flannery's second shot on goal. She had one back on Thursday. So things starting to even up a little bit more. 5 shots for Alabama, though, to North Texas's 1. But that is the first shot on goal that we've seen here this afternoon in Denton, Texas. North Texas, back in last season, their first year in the American, and it was a solid start, but it didn't end the way they wanted. Injuries played a big role, and they missed out on the conference tournament. Starting off now this year, still trying to prove doubters wrong. Take a look at the preseason poll. Memphis leading the way with 9 first-place votes, a team that was solid last year and many say will have a great season once again here in 2024. But North Texas really just trying to really make a statement in the conference for the first time.
And they need that. Last year, they really were a great team, but as you mentioned, they had some unfortunate injuries. Even Coach Headland, he had to miss a couple games, and I think this is going to really be a redemption year for North Texas, especially with some of the fifth years coming back with Ogden, Roebuck, Flannery. They've mentioned that last year it kind of hurt them because they didn't not only win the conference tournament or the conference championship, they didn't even make it to the tournament, and that is very uncharacteristic of North Texas when you compare the success that they've had in their program. So when they didn't make the tournament, that definitely hurt, and it was more reason for those fifth-year seniors to come back and redeem themselves.
And even talk about their RPI last year, not really that bad. They were arguably one of the best teams in the country to not make their conference tournament, but the point system left them just a spot out. As Alabama on the attack once again. Bodies on the floor, stays with Alabama. The footwork from the Crimson Tide has been exquisite to start this first half. North Texas has been resilient, though. Right up front, Ogden with an opportunity to save and cannot. It goes high into the back of the net for the first goal of the night. Kylie Kukan. And Cundy with the assist. And that's what Alabama was looking for to start the game. They couldn't find an opportunity with several corners, but this time the defense really collapses inside. And Alabama starts on top.
It did feel like it was only a matter of time before they put one in, and it started with Kukan crossing it in, and Cundy. He looks really comfortable right now in this game, and there's a lot of expectations for Cundy. She is on the SEC preseason watch list. So that goal is probably just one of many in her future.
So North Texas still seeking goal number 1 of the season. They won 0 back on Thursday to Oklahoma. And in the same fashion, giving up a goal in the first half. Alabama coming off a quarterfinal appearance in the tournament last season. They've made the NCAA tournament in 3 consecutive years. Head coach Wes Hart with 4 appearances in 10 seasons, or 9 seasons, I should say, at Alabama, beginning season number 10 here this week.
Yeah, Coach Hart has had great success over with Alabama 2 years ago, making it all the way to the College Cup. That was an exciting run that season for the Crimson Tide. He's just 3 games shy, too, of that 100 win mark. So this season, he could be celebrating 100. I definitely think that's going to happen.
Oh, without a doubt. North Texas just really waiting on the numbers on the far side. Contact still in play, and looks like we will have a call. It'll stay with North Texas.
North Texas did a good job finding Flannery, but as you mentioned, she was up top all by herself. So she was just holding the ball, getting her head up, waiting for teammates to come by. And that physical play continuing, Brooke Steer just laying into Flannery, not making it easy for her to do anything with the ball at her feet. And unfortunately for Flannery, she just had no other options.
No.
She had no teammates to go to. I think North Texas, they've been playing so defensively. They're kind of dragging their feet to get up top and help out in that attacking third.
You almost feel stuck, it seems like, if they move across the midfield line, because it's just been all too familiar to be defending. And when you get a rare opportunity, that's something that will drive coaches a little crazy, is when you have an opportunity and the numbers just, they don't move. Goes out of play. Alabama will stay with it. 22 until halftime, but before we get to that point, it's also mentioned it's over 100 degrees here in Denton, Texas. We will have a hydration break here in the first half, but not before Alabama strikes first. It's a 1-0 advantage for the Crimson Tide. North Texas trying to defend.
1200.
When the temperatures are near record highs is even more impressive. Out of the hydration break, North Texas on offense looking to move it right to the goalkeeper of Laie. And Nesco White. Another opportunity for the Mean Green, but again, it's just been very slim pickings on offense for North Texas.
Yeah, we see Bailey Wesco is in now, able to get that shot off. She didn't start in this game, but that's not necessarily a bad thing because you do need those players who can come off the bench and keep the level of play high or maybe even raise the bar. And I think in this case, North Texas, they definitely needed some fresh legs. They need a spark to hopefully generate something offensively. So it's great to see Wesco is in. Looks like they also made another change, getting Ridley Reeves in, the freshman. She's now up top. She's a freshman from Arlington, was co-MVP of her school district in high school.
Yeah, soccer running in the family, older sister playing up at Navy. But yeah, as you mentioned, good to see Wesco back out on the field for North Texas and all-conference selection last season. 6 goals and 40 shots. And she started in 13 matches last season. It was a short hydration break, but it's tough to... You don't want to get out of rhythm, but also at the same time, you want to make sure the players are safe, and I think that's the balance that the officials and the coaches really agreed to, given the current conditions.
And I think if anyone needed that break, it was North Texas. They really needed that time to recollect themselves, talk about what they're seeing that's not going well, make some changes. And you don't usually get that luxury in the game of soccer. Usually you're going 45 minutes straight before you can sit down at halftime and talk with your team. But you know Coach Hedlund, he took advantage of that break, talking to his girls, clearly made some changes. The Crimson Tide, they were looking strong, but it's good to still get some water in them.
Yeah, so Bernard, Reeves, Renfro, and Wesco getting some playing time for the first time tonight as Maddie Ogden once again making a play to avoid a 2-0 hole. Ogden had 2 saves back on Thursday. Across midfield, North Texas trying to maintain possession, but this defense from Alabama has been tough from the start.
Yeah, Alabama, they've been looking really good, playing fast, applying pressure, and they're doing a good job connecting. And the more you can keep possession of the ball and knock it around, you're going to have North Texas just running around, wasting energy chasing them, and that's what you want to do. You want to be able to wear teams down when you keep possession like that, and then pick and choose when you're going to attack and go fast. That's what we usually see from Alabama. They're great at possessing the ball, and then because of the speed they have up top with Gianna Paul, they'll hit that long ball, hit that through ball, and she usually does a great job getting to the end of that and wrecking havoc.
We talked about how physical tonight's matchup was going to be, and we saw it early on. 5 combined fouls in the first 10 to 12 minutes of play, and since then nothing, but it's still been very feisty to say the least.
It's been very physical,
right
as
on
we
cue.
mentioned. Yeah, right there. Referee's definitely letting them play.
Over to the near side. This one too high. There wasn't a whole lot of room for Emma King. The freshman getting some significant playing time the first 2 matches this season. And Laie was right there.
Yeah, Emma King, again, a freshman, getting significant time, but that physicality continuing. Ramadan for Clemson, getting chippy from behind, but the referee says play on as the ball was still at the advantage of North Texas. And this is one of those moments that we're seeing from King that might show that she's young. She definitely had time to get a touch and get a better shot off. Instead, I'm sure she felt rushed, and so she just hit it first time and really did not get a good shot on frame to try and challenge Laie back there. But those are lessons you'll learn along the way.
So a yellow card was issued for Nadia Ramadan as she is subbed out. And Labovich comes in for Alabama, but also seeing Bailey Wesco get a lot more involved for North Texas. Didn't play much in the first 20 minutes or so. Now is seeing much more action, the senior. They're starting to rely on that senior group. We talked about just the balance that they're trying to put together. You want some freshmen out there. They want some energy that head coach Hedlund believes that they can really bring to the table. But we also mentioned, being a freshman means you're young. The inexperience and making decisions don't come as easy as opposed to players like Wesco.
And that's the thing with the freshman that he said is really encouraging and that he's impressed with is, you can't teach confidence. There's certain intangibles that you can't teach. You can't teach someone how to be fast. You can't teach someone to be confident. And he said this freshman group, they're all very confident players. As far as the tactics of the game, the skill, you can teach that. Coach Hedlund knows that, and he knows he's going to need some more time with some of these players. But so far, they really adapted well into the schemes that North Texas is trying to bring this year. And we've been seeing highlights and moments of them playing like veterans.
Alabama trying to double up the lead before halftime as the Mean Green send this one over across midfield, trying to get some space, and they do.
And I love that North Texas is trying to hit that long ball, but they need to be more direct, more definitive of where they're trying to send that long ball. You don't want to just lackadaisically kick it up and just hope that there's someone at the end of that. They need to get their heads up, find Wesco, and get it towards her in that direction, because if there is a weakness with the Crimson Tide, I think it's a little bit in the back line. TCU really took advantage of their speed going against the back line and hitting through balls and having that combination play around those center backs. They were very successful at doing that and getting goals. So I think North Texas, if they can implement that in their game plan, they're going to do well.
Over to the left side of the field for a rare opportunity. North Texas don't have the numbers, but an opportunity. Alabama survives unscathed. And a solid heads-up play by Labovich to keep that away from the net.
And as I had just mentioned, I think North Texas, they can have success going against those center backs with the speed they have. We saw Wesco easily in that foot race win it with the center back and then try to find her teammate as she cut it back. I know it didn't end up playing in favor at the end of it all, but really a good look, and that's the type of play we need to continue to see from North Texas.
North Texas starting the season with two SEC opponents. Oklahoma now joining the SEC after leaving the Big 12, shaking up the conference realignment with Texas. And we talked about how North Texas had a very long streak of starting the year on a right note. Didn't go the way they wanted on Thursday. Last time North Texas, though, started 0-2 was 2005. And that's not to discredit this team, but it's been a tough schedule to start the year, to say the least.
Absolutely, and that was one thing I was a little surprised by. I know you want to play good competition in the preseason, but even their exhibition games, Colorado and Colorado State, they wasted no time playing high-level teams going into this season.
Look at the speed from Cunningham. Opportunity. One-on-one and a save Laie. She says, calm down. I've got it. This, man, sophomore making big plays.
North Texas doing a phenomenal job applying pressure. They were able to get that turnover. And again, do what they need to do, and that's find Wesco. Get the ball to her feet. Let her show off that speed. Lily Cunningham came in, intercepted it, showed off a little speed of her own, got her head up, and I love the intention behind this. She made sure to pinpoint find Wesco. Wesco just unfortunately trying to go around the keeper. Laie doing a great job coming off her line to make the save. But Wesco, if she can just clean it up, maybe just take that shot earlier, that very easily could have been the equalizer that North Texas needs.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, you think you hit it right on the dot. Just hesitated a little too long. You got to give credit, though, Cunningham. What a play, and then the afterburners taking off.
And Laie, Alabama's goalkeeper, I know they lost at TCU 3-0, but that result did not represent how well she played. Laie, she really had a lot of great saves and kept Alabama in that game. That very easily could have been a much higher deficit score than 3-0, but Laie, she was keeping Alabama in it, making save after save. So I know it was a 3-0 loss, but not a great representation of how well she played in that game.
It's been a battle for 50-50 balls, a lot going in favor of Alabama. Just over 10 to play here in the first half. Another interception for North Texas. Roebuck sends this one across over to Wesco. Another opportunity. Alabama has the numbers. Wesco sends one to the net. Can't get exactly where she wanted, though. A little up front for Laie.
And that all started with Roebuck doing what she does best, commanding it in the midfield. And I love that she got her head up to find Wesco. She didn't just aimlessly kick it up there. And I think Wesco, she got the ball down to her feet. She probably could have just continued to use her speed and take them all on back there. I would have liked to see that, but instead she tried to hold the ball, wait for her teammates to make their way up the field. Again, another problem. North Texas, they're trying to counter, but they got to be able to get all up there together into that attacking third and support Wesco. Wesco was looking for teammates, but no one was there to be seen, and eventually ended up getting turned over.
Great play again for North Texas. You've sensed a little bit of a momentum shift. And Wesco's complaining about one of the Crimson Tide getting in her way. Couldn't get to that pass. And they say play on.
This referee is definitely letting these players play. He's not calling anything soft. And at this level, in some ways, that's what you want to see. We're at the Division I level. You expect it to be more physical. You don't want to call soft fouls. This isn't basketball. So you should expect some nudges, some tugs here and there. But you can't stop running or stop midway through the play because you're frustrated the referee didn't call something. You just have to keep playing until that referee either does or doesn't make the call.
Now, it feels like from this first half that Alabama's had a lot more opportunities offensively, but those numbers have really started to shift over the past 10 to 15 minutes. The Crimson Tide still leading 7-5 in shots, but North Texas with 2 shots on goal. Alabama's just 1. There you see a substitution as Wesco heads back to the bench, and Miller back out on the field.
I'm a little surprised to see Wesco's already back on the sideline. She sat the first 22 minutes to start this game, and she really had good chances up there. But a good sub all the same for Alexis Miller. I mean, she is fast, she's strong, and I think she could do some great things going against the back line of Alabama.
Entering the final stretch of the first half. Important minutes here for both teams. Good patience, but the defense from North Texas once again stands strong and gets this one across midfield. They say it stays in play. No, I thought that one went out. A good heads-up decision to keep fighting from Alexis Miller.
Alexis Miller, that's what I love about her. She is one of those tenacious forwards where she's not afraid to get gritty and play on Alexis Miller. She's willing to do whatever it takes. She's small, but she is mighty. She's strong, and she'll get in there, and she's not going to shy away from any of those battles defensively. Again, running it down, applying the pressure. That's why she's one of my favorite players to watch.
And on the other side, I loved Smith's reaction. Like, come on, that was clearly out. I have to keep running after this? But nevertheless, Alabama gets it back. And there's Paul, impact player.
They've been showing off some great skill. Gianna Paul there with a cheeky little play to pull it back and then try to go down the line. North Texas, they're going to have to be careful because of how skilled this Alabama team is, how fast they are. They have to be sure to, yes, apply the pressure when they have the ball, but you have to make sure you watch the ball. Don't get faked out by any tricks or moves that they do. You got to watch the ball as you try to apply that strong defense on them.
So a foul on Brewer gives a free kick. Ogden at midfield. And what a leg she has. And a good kick out for Alabama to keep North Texas scoreless.
Not surprised. That ball made it all the way into the box. Ogden being asked to come up off her line to take the kick. In North Texas, they got to the end of that. That's what you want to do, is win that ball first. Tried to flick it on. Just unfortunately, no one at the end of that to anticipate the flick. But not a bad look there for North Texas.
No, not at all. All it takes is one play to knot things up. But Alabama trying to make it at least two here. Keeping it in play, and Mean Green will kick it out. Abby Major, redshirt junior, transferring out of Mississippi State a couple years ago and quickly solidified herself as a big player for this North Texas program.
Yeah, she's a captain this year, and Coach Hedlund is leaning on her heavily to have that leadership to lead this young team and be an example for them to follow.
Good steal for North Texas, and now a battle for possession goes in favor of the Crimson Tide. Sun slowly working its way down. And the flag goes up, much to the dismay of North Texas fans here in Denton, Texas. Just over 4 to play in the first half. Alabama, 24 consecutive weeks ranked in the top 25. That dates all the way back to 2022. And that may be coming to an end this week, regardless of the outcome today after their loss to TCU in the season opener. But it has been a great run for Alabama, to say the least.
Oh, this Alabama program has definitely been on the rise in recent years. They've always been a great program, but to make it to the College Cup 2 years ago, when you get that far into a season, you've established yourself to be one of the greats amongst North Carolina, Florida State, those type of schools. And so it's definitely resulted in having great recruiting. They have multiple players on their team that are national team players. And I think that that success is just going to continue to be built upon for Alabama. Great things still to come for Coach Hart and his girls.
Coming up at halftime, press conference with Tim Pernetti as we'll take a break here from the Soccer and Track and Field Stadium in Denton, Texas. He's talking about how this conference continues to make adjustments in an ever-changing, it seems like, conference realignment. I think that's been a big conversation with fans across the country. And North Texas making the move last year. Again, there's a lot more changes that we'll be trying to get used to and still trying to wrap our brains around the changes between the Big 12 and SEC. Another opportunity for Alabama, but North Texas, the defense standing strong as they trail 1-0 in the final minutes here in the first half.
I know North Texas ultimately was able to get the clearance, but it's not good because an Alabama player was easily able to get into that cross and get the header. Just unfortunately couldn't get a good quality header to redirect it towards the goal. But it's really unacceptable that they are leaving wide open players in the box on corner kicks. They got to do a better job communicating who's marking who's going to follow which player, so that you're not leaving wide open opportunities for Alabama to take advantage of their set pieces.
And they've had plenty of opportunities to try and correct that. 4 corners in the first half for Alabama. A battle for possession at midfield. Once again goes in favor of Alabama. 90 seconds to go in the first half. Not a great placement there. It looked like they were trying to send it over across midfield. That was Peyton Renfro. Stay with Alabama. It looks like really just trying to get at this point to halftime and try and get reset. It looks like that's the goal for both teams here. Alabama feeling comfortable with that 1-0 lead. As the sun starts to set, the temperature is going down, and still we'll look at another hydration break later in the second half. It looks like North Texas will make a final push for it in the final 30 seconds, trying to get to the box. Contact, shoved down. And there's the physicality we've been talking about. Alabama just so much size defensively. Now showing off the speed. And this is where we will close things out in the first half. Back and forth physically. Alabama with 7 shots to North Texas's 5. 2 shots on goal for North Texas, but they remain scoreless on this game and on the season. Number 20 team in the country with a 1-0 advantage at halftime. Laura, your thoughts?
I think it's safe to say 5 players that started in that TCU game ended up starting in this game, so they clearly made some changes. And then North Texas, they have that youth of 12 freshmen coming in. They had 6 freshmen play in the last game. We're continuing to see more youth for North Texas on the pitch today. There's quite a few new faces to this North Texas team, 14 newcomers overall. So that's a lot for Coach Hedlund to try to figure out what pieces of the puzzle are going to fit best.
So we flip the field to start the second half, and once again, Alabama trying to go on the attack early as North Texas gets it right back after out of bounds. There's Wesco getting physical. There's a lot of size on this Crimson Tide starting lineup, but I'll tell you, Wesco matches up really well with just about anybody.
They do need to utilize the size that they have up top. They have size, but they also have speed. And I know North Texas, towards the end of that first half, they were doing a better job of trying to hit that long ball, those through balls. That's when they were most dangerous, when they were more accurate with the long ball. Earlier on, they were just kicking it and hoping someone would get there, and that was not working out well for them.
Ogden sends it into the box. Wesco can't grab it. Right for the moment, stayed with North Texas. Bad pass, and UNT gets it right back. Very different start to this second half as opposed to the first half. Alabama was already knocking at the door with Ogden and company in the back. Alabama trying to get a first look at it. Over to the far side, trying to weave through traffic. Stays in play. In the box, turning around. No whistles. The officials really letting them play as Alabama tries to reset.
I know, I was shocked when we got to halftime and there was only 9 or 10 fouls, because it certainly looked like a lot more could have been called. But the referee is saying play on, and you have to admire part of that. He's letting them get physical, but you also want to make sure it doesn't get too out of hand.
Pass intercepted by the Mean Green. Just trying to keep it outside the box. There's Wesco, and it will outrace her. Or excuse me, Brown.
They do have such similar looks and athleticism. I get them confused all the time because even the way they play, they're both fast, they're both physical. They play just as similar as they look on the field, so sometimes it's hard to keep track of them.
A battle for possession over to the near side. Great footwork. Nadia Ramadan. Over to the far side. North Texas staying physical. Alabama gets past. The patience going high off the crossbar. Still in play. North Texas surviving a big scare. It stays 1-0.
North Texas thanking the crossbar for the defense on that one. Ramadan doing a great job. And first touch, too, to get that shot off. She kept it low, not low enough, but still a fantastic look. The Crimson Tide doing a good job passing it back. Great strike there from Ramadan. Ogden trying her best to reach out for it, but man, if that had just been a few inches lower, easily could have been a 2-0 game for Alabama.
And Podolski doing a great job as well. Just trying to get it inside the box again, but it will stay with North Texas after going out of bounds. And there's the whistle. And Richards was looking like, hey, I'm getting shoved here. Something has to be called.
I think all these players, based off how the referee's been calling the game, seeing that he's letting some pushing, some shoving slide, they should anticipate that physicality as they go against each other. If not, maybe raise it up a little bit. If he's letting you get away with it, why not kind of shoulder in a little bit harder? Try to win those 50-50 battles.
And in fact, they called a handball against Alabama for that free kick. But very quickly right back to the other side. There's Ramadan sending it over to the far side.
And look at the defense right now. Wesco, a forward. That's how far North Texas is sitting back defensively. Wesco at the box on her own half. That's how talented this Crimson Tide team is. North Texas feels like they have to drop all the numbers back to be able to defend them.
And Rosales back there for North Texas, sent it out. And another good defensive play for the Mean Green. A miss there on the kick will go out. It'll be with North Texas.
Great physical play there for North Texas to try to shut down Cundy, or whom that might be Izzy Smith, it looks like. A little bit of Smith and Cundy there, both battling, but either way, UNT's Lily Cunningham coming in strong defensively. You're going to have to do that going against Alabama. Make sure that you're strong going shoulder to shoulder. See if you can try to push them off the ball there.
Green trying to put something together and maybe an opportunity here. No call. Stays in play. Sending it back on the other side. Too far. Still keeping it alive though. Good overall work. Racing down the ball for North Texas.
Yeah, Claire Niedermeyer, the freshman, able to hunt that ball down to get the cross off. Really a good look because she had a wide open player there on the back post. Just a little bit too much behind that ball, but still good look either way. Those are the types of plays that North Texas needs to try to generate in order to gain some momentum. Take those shots, get those crosses. They might not pay off at first, but eventually, as you build your chemistry, get your rhythm, you're going to get better looks, better chances at goal, and in their case, hopefully knock one in.
Yeah, that's the speed that Coach Hedlund was talking about earlier in the week, that he's seen from this squad early in the season. Mia Bernard for North Texas, in for Emma King. Players are very thankful the sun has set temperatures back below that 100-degree mark back in the 90s. As we will have another hydration break here in the second half.
I know it is crazy that even with the sun down, the feels like temperature is still at 100.
Man.
So you're getting a little bit of a break without that sun beating down on you, but don't take it as any means that it's getting much cooler. Still feel like temperatures at 100. So as you mentioned, that water break still necessary in the second half.
Yeah, I loved what Coach Hedlund said earlier in the week, talking about how spoiled the team felt. That one merely goes in favor for the Mean Green. It looks like a potential corner on its way for North Texas, but just back to my point, the exhibitions they had prior to the season up in Colorado, he said the temperatures, he said we felt so spoiled, temperatures in the 50s, and they returned to
in the box, able to get a little bit of a touch, but just not able to get it down and get a shot off. But hopefully the freshman will get more acclimated into this game. She's been pretty involved so far here in the first 9 minutes. Some good looks for North Texas and a great start.
Here's Bernard on the corner, sailing far, can't get it in the net, as Alabama sends that one out. Good defense from the Crimson Tide.
It really was. They were man-to-man on North Texas. Abby Major looked like she got to the end of that corner kick, just not able to redirect it enough towards goal. But still, as long as they can at least get some chances, that's going to build rhythm, build chemistry to get more shots on goal.
Bernard sailing that one too high off of the pass from Richards, but still definitely a big shift in the first 10 minutes that we've seen from North Texas. It's not what we saw in the first 10 minutes of this match in the first half. Much more aggressive on the offensive side.
Yeah, aggressive, as you can see with that shot there by Mia Bernard. A good look. I think it was worth trying to get a shot off. Just got too much underneath the ball over the crossbar. Would have liked to see her nail it. Laces down, get her hips, get her body over the ball so that when she does strike it, it's more on frame. And if you're going to get one past Laie, it's going to have to be on frame and a lot more challenging of a shot than that.
Major put that one out of bounds just to get some numbers back for North Texas. Good play. Ella Bushko, we've seen a couple solid plays from her in that first half and continuing over into the final 45, but a bad pass intercepted by Alabama.
Bushko, as you mentioned, so far had a couple minutes in this game. She's really played well. One of those freshmen playing like a veteran and having the confidence to step up.
Over into the box, trying to get it out. Contact. No whistle. Yes, there is. A little too much that time from Bushko. So a free kick. And a good spot for Alabama.
Yeah, Alabama, they have some size to them. They're going to be pretty good at winning those 50-50 balls, so you have to be mindful if you're North Texas on where you found them. As Bushko, as a freshman, I like that she went hard, but you got to be able to get the ball in those challenges. Just knocks Podolsky over, and now Alabama getting a look.
And Podolsky on the free kick. Can't make the connection. Defense has been the story in the first 12 minutes of the second half. Over to the far side, one-on-one. The defense Great job. Well done as it goes out of play for North Texas. It looks like one of the Crimson Tide is down, though. Lily Cunningham was doing a great job, but contact at the end. Hope she's all right. Looks like Leah Cundy, who had the assist on the goal in the first half.
It looked like they just kind of got their legs tangled with each other. Cunningham doing a good job to box Cundy out, but it did look like as Cundy went down, maybe even her groin, as she fell down holding her leg. As she tried to reach for the ball, a little awkward there. Now look like holding her knee, and that's not something you ever want to see in the game of soccer.
There she is, Cundy, the senior. One of the leaders for this Alabama team.
And she's been a consistent leader. No, just a sophomore last year, she played in all 22 of their games, started 3. She goes into this season on the SEC preseason watch list. So she is a key player for Alabama going into the season. I mean, today, she's been all over the place. She's been beating players 1v1, showing off her skill, showing off her speed. She had the assist for the lone goal that Alabama has right now. So that is not a player that you want to see go down if you're the Crimson Tide.
Good to see Cundy be able to walk off on her own feet. And just hope she's all right in this game 2 of the season. And I tell you, both of these teams have been tested physically in week 1 of the season.
And they did that with some big season openers. Neither team shying away with starting it off with a bang. North Texas playing Oklahoma, Alabama playing TCU. They both had very physically exhausting games on Thursday to then come back 2 days later on a Saturday for another great high-level intense matchup.
Bernard able to get it over across midfield and stays with North Texas after going out of bounds. Quick throw in, but no one there. So Gianna Paul back in after the injury for Cundy, our impact player for the Crimson Tide. Didn't expect her to be off the field for very long.
No, I'm kind of surprised she actually wasn't on the field at the start. And you can see her, she's hanging out on that back far side. She's trying to make sure she's a little incognito. North Texas is gonna have to make sure they keep their head on a swivel, because you know that Paul, she's hoping she's not gonna be seen.
Sailing too high, a great look, but couldn't get to the back of the net. Podolsky had a shot on goal back on Thursday, and this one just a little too high.
Podolsky, talk about some young faces on the pitch today. At 16 years old, she's playing here at the college level. She had significant time, too, in that TCU game. Didn't see much of her, if at all, really, in that first half, which was a little bit of a surprise because she played well in that TCU game. But she's here now making some noise, getting some shots off. And when you're a young player like that, that's what you want to do. They might not be the best shots, but the more you do it, the more confidence you're going to build.
Yeah, it's one thing to be a freshman. It's another thing to be young. It's a completely other thing to be 16 years old, one of the youngest players in the country playing at the collegiate level. Battle at midfield. It'll go in favor of the Crimson Tide. There she is, member of the under-17 U.S. training camp team. North Texas trying to fight for it, a little bit of momentum, and goes right back to Alabama's side. Good defense from the Crimson Tide, but once again on the attack inside the box. Maneuvering around, and a save from Laie. And Brown has looked really good in this second half, just still waiting on that connection to the back net.
I'm glad that we have both Brown and Wesco back in together up top, because those two really play well together and they're a threat. Brown able to get the shot off there. Just a little bit too direct for Laye to be able to make the save, but still a good look.
And Brown playing a little over 50 minutes on Thursday in their loss to Oklahoma. And Brown up to 38 minutes here in this contest. Good kick out from North Texas, back with it. A battle for supremacy. And North Texas get a free kick, a little too aggressive, they say, by Podolski. Ogden sends it. Brown. Alabama kicks it right back out. North Texas has been much more on the offensive, though, here in the first portion of the second half, trying to even things up at one. Alabama trying to keep it in play, and it will go out of bounds. North Texas.
I think North Texas is doing a better job of going up the field more cohesively. In that first half, everybody was stuck on defense and they'd only have one person up top with no one to play or off of or get support from. But right now, North Texas, they're all moving together. All 11 players right now are on the first half in front of them so that they can get involved in the attacking third. They can get the combination plays and take the shots and have the support to help each other out.
Just trying to keep it across midfield. Been back and forth with Bushko and Flannery, and it looks like we might get a card, and we do have a yellow against Roebuck. It's been very physical. We were kind of waiting to see when there might be a yellow, and for the first time tonight, it goes against the Mean Green.
I think it was about time for a card to go out, because as a referee, you set the tone of how much people can get away with. What is the line that's drawn of how physical we can go? And I think we've seen it happen just as much on both sides. The fact that Roebuck is getting the yellow is not a surprise to me by any means, but there's been some plays out here where Alabama, they could have had some yellows of their own. Unfortunately, Roebuck just not getting enough of the ball and too much of the player there.
It's the first yellow of the night for either team. It's the second yellow of the season. Abby Major picking up a yellow just about a minute and a half into the match on Thursday.
I will have to say, being at that game, it was a soft yellow. I was a little surprised the yellow card got pulled out on that one. Now Roebuck, a little bit more of aggressive play. Not surprised to see a yellow card there.
You know, sometimes maybe the referees, they want to set the tone early in the first half. It's been a little different here on Saturday night, really letting them play, and then they've said, all right, enough is enough. So just under 27 to play here in the second half. Alabama hanging on to that 1-0 lead. Bailey Wesco getting more involved now here in the second half. Wesco and Brown have been heavily involved over the stretch. Alabama, no rush here.
Yeah, you can tell North Texas, they're taking more of an approach of just sitting back and letting Alabama come to them rather than wasting energy chasing the ball back and forth as they switch the point of attack on the back line. They're going to sit back, wait for Alabama to try to send that long ball in and then win it from there.
A very different tone setter for Alabama than what we saw in the first half. But once they had that 1-0 lead, it's not necessarily a level of comfort, but they're more patient as this one sails just a little high. It looked like Paul once again, our impact player for Alabama, getting another opportunity at it. And not a bad shot, just, again, trying to keep the defense on their heels.
Not a bad look at all. Paul doing what exactly I had pointed out earlier. She's trying to hang out on that wide right side of the field and get lost. And that's exactly what happened there for North Texas. It looked like they didn't realize she was hanging out there, trying to go incognito. Lily Cunningham, that left back for North Texas. I like her aggression trying to go up, but she misread the ball, and that ball just slipped through for Gianna Paul. That's not a player you can be making mistakes defensively on, because she will punish you.
Richards as well has seen a lot of action with the ball tonight, and very limited time with the team. Still trying to get acclimated after getting here just a little over a week ago, but has no doubt made a solid impact on the team here in week 1.
In the Oklahoma game, she had a few moments there where she really showed off her speed, her skill. I don't feel like we've been able to see her get that same type of rhythm so far in this game. I think Alabama's doing a better job putting pressure on her, but I think it is just going to take a little bit more time for Richards to get acclimated with this team, learn this scheme. So she's not playing bad by any means. I think it's just going to take some time with her, like it would anyone.
Yeah, it's the chemistry that really can't be taught overnight. That one's stolen from Wesco. Alabama looking to get a little more aggressive on their side of the field. And that one poked out, staying with Alabama. Paul ready to throw it in.
We know Paul is fast, and the fact Cunningham is keeping up with her speed is a good sign for North Texas that they have the speed to hang in with SEC caliber players.
Over to the corner. North Texas keeps it out without touching, and it'll go right back to the mean green. Couple substitutions for North Texas. Still waiting on a hydration break. But for now, we will stay here until, yep, no kidding, right on cue. We will have the hydration break, it appears. 23 minutes to go here in the second half. It's still a battle. Soccer right now. That is what's on everybody's mind. Alabama with a solid first half defensively, and frankly had a lot of opportunities.
Looked more comfortable. They seem to have better possession of the ball. They don't look like they're as frazzled by the Alabama pressure that they're applying on them. They're definitely able to connect more passes, get some better looks at goal than they did in that first half.
And there was about a 5-minute stretch or so where it seemed like Alabama really let off the gas. They stayed a little more hesitant to push offensively. Now out of this hydration break, they're looking much more aggressive, looking to build on that 1-0 lead.
And that's the thing, is playing at this level, you cannot let up and get too comfortable with your lead. Because at that point, that's when your opponent, they're going to start being able to get more passes going, have more possession, and the more you can keep possession and keep the tempo of the game up, you're going to be the one controlling it.
The pass able to be brought back into play for Alabama. Trying to get a double team for North Texas, pushing them back across midfield, and they'll send it back to Laye. Battle for possession goes right back to the Crimson Tide. North Texas had a couple really good looks at it. One near the end of the first half and one coming out of the second half as well. But Alabama's done a great job defensively. You got to give credit to Laye, credited with 3 saves in this contest.
Laye, she is top-notch goalkeeper that you'd want in your program. And sometimes when it comes to soccer, your goalkeeper could be the make or break of whether you win or not. And so I know Alabama, they got to feel lucky they have a high-caliber player like Laye back there in between the sticks.
And always tough for a team coming off a loss like they did on Thursday, falling 3-0 to TCU. Laie had 5 saves, obviously giving up the 3 goals. Just defensively, sometimes that's a great wake-up call for a team. Like, okay, time to make adjustments, and it seems like they've answered the call here tonight.
I think so. When I'm watching this Alabama team tonight versus what I saw against TCU, it's much different. Now, you got to give credit for the Horned Frogs. They're a very talented squad. And so they were applying a lot of pressure on Alabama to throw them off their rhythm. But I think you're right. I think that loss fired them up a little bit, and you need that sometimes.
Ogden snatches that one down. Talking to the official, saying, trying to poke the ball out of my hands. Instead, we'll send this one. Great kick, well past midfield. Keeping it in play on the far side. 2-on-1, North Texas wins that battle.
Alexis Miller, I told you she's small, but she's mighty. Able to win that battle. Tried to find Richards inside, just unable to connect the pass. But I love the physicality that we got out of her to win that 50-50. And she has the speed to run at you and be dangerous.
Looking to make a substitution before. It looks like they'll wait. North Texas is looking to make some substitution for Richards. Instead, they'll stick with it for now. Right there, Richards getting involved right on cue. North Texas with some numbers. Can they get down in time? Inside the box, cutting back. Just trying to keep possession now. Sends that one right over to Laie, who is right there to make the snag.
And it starts with Ridley Reeves able to hunt it down, turn on the jets, get to the ball, cut it back, find her teammate. I think it was Miller who was able to get the shot off on that. Great pass, great combination play between the two.
Yeah, it looked like the Mean Green had something, but then right as it looked like they had an opportunity, the Crimson Tide close in, really just limiting any passing opportunities across the box.
And here's another look at that play. Again, Reeves winning the battle, throwing off her defender, and Miller keeping the composure that she needs to get good touches on the ball, get that shot off. Well done by Miller. She went from having her goal to back, being able to quickly turn, even when she was double teamed. And for Alabama, when you're double teaming a player 2v1, you got to win that battle.
Gianna Paul. Did a good job passing back and forth as well offensively for Alabama. Really just trying to do it all. Coming off what was not a very successful game offensively for Alabama. Still had a lot of opportunities, a shot on goal and 3 shots on Thursday's loss, and continuing that here tonight against North Texas. Now the Mean Green pushing it. Trying to cut around the corner, and the defense is there to send it back out to set up a corner.
Well done there by Reeves. Not afraid, even as a freshman, to go 1v1 to take it down the line. All starting, though, with Claire Niedermeyer doing a good job defensively to close in on her and kick it out for a corner kick.
And a rare opportunity for North Texas at the corner. And Alabama denies, at least initially. North Texas gets it back for the moment. And this one also heading out to set up another corner.
A really great service there by Mia Bernard to test Laie like that. It ends up getting into the feet of Claire Niedermeyer once again, showing her stuff off. Not able to get a shot off, but a deflection to get another corner kick is just as good.
Here's Bernard on the corner, looking good. And a great job by Laie to get her hands up on it and send that one outside the box.
That service there, fantastic. Just to curl it in and make Laie have to make a decision. Am I going to come off my line? Am I going to stay put? You want to rattle the goalkeeper as much as you can. Make them make decisions. And hopefully for North Texas, you're hoping the decisions lead to mistakes that you can capitalize on that, but good services there. Back-to-back corners for North Texas, and again, Mia Bernard hooking it in.
The numbers have continued to shift after the first 20 minutes in the first half. North Texas with 4 shots on goal to Alabama's 1, but that's the difference. That one shot for Alabama giving them the 1-0 advantage back in the first half by Kylie Kukan. And now just over 15 minutes to go. North Texas trying to avoid their first 0-2 start since 2005, but this is not exactly a normal start to a season with 2 SEC opponents at home. It's a tough start to the schedule, a great way to get your team ready for conference play.
And really a bold move by Coach Hedlund. That just goes to show how much confidence he has on his team with 14 newcomers, 12 freshmen. He said expect anywhere from 3 to 5 freshmen to start each game. That's how much he believes in the young team that he has. To schedule high caliber teams like OU and Alabama. He said, hey, if you want to be able to beat the best, you got to play with the best. And so that's why he picked the teams that he picked. Whether win or lose, he wants to make sure he's testing his team early. He said the best way for young players to learn is to, quite frankly, just throw them in the fire. And I think so far we've seen some mistakes from the youth, but nothing major. They've been able to handle this challenge quite well.
I'd say the same thing as well on the other side. With Alabama, you go on the road to start the season, going up against a great TCU squad and staying in town on the road to have another tough contest against North Texas in the American. Just a different style of play, and just seeing how they respond after a 3-0 loss on Thursday has looked impressive, and I'm sure head coach Hart still has a lot of things that he wants to correct, but in week 1, that's pretty common.
It's very common, and as you mentioned, the way they've responded from that loss, that's a huge lesson to learn in itself. I know that was not the result they wanted against TCU, but again, TCU is a great program. Alabama, I don't think they played their best. The team I'm seeing tonight is almost unrecognizable to what I saw on Thursday. So they've certainly been able to turn it around, and those are the type of lessons you want to learn this early on in the season so that you are at your best come conference time.
And time for North Texas to start bringing a little bit more offensively as we enter the final 13 minutes. As the Mean Green trail 1-0. Still looking for that first goal on the season. They were shut out in their loss on Thursday against Oklahoma, but it nearly ended right there. Got to give credit once again to Laie at the right spot at the right time. And Reeves trying to get that first goal on the season just comes up short.
Yeah, Reeves did a great job going 1v1 out wide to then hit it across. You had Claire Niedermeyer running in on that backside to try to get to the end of it. It takes a bounce, a slight deflection from Niedermeyer. Laie doing a great job, being confident to come off her line and make the save.
Yeah, one of the freshmen that Coach Hedlund really is excited about. And a lot of freshmen as well on this team. It's just, you never know exactly what you're going to get until they finally get out there in that first week. And then you're like, okay, now it's time to build that foundation around that. The freshmen really starting to step up in big ways that sometimes the coaches won't even see in practice until it's out on the field.
And that's the thing with freshmen. They can have a very respectable, successful career in high school, but you won't know what they do and if they can handle the college level until they get there. And Niedermeyer is one of those freshmen where she had a successful career in high school and so far has been able to transition very well at the collegiate level.
So on the foul from Paul, have a free kick for North Texas. And no one there Looked like a miscommunication for North Texas. Now Alabama on the attack. Into the box, might get an opportunity, sailing too high. Frustrated, hands up on the head after that kick. And Brewer, an opportunity to get it 2-0 and really close this game out, but for now, Alabama will have to wait just a little longer.
It really started with a poor service by North Texas. Crimson Tide able to clear it out, and then Kennedy Garcia, great job to get her head up and find her teammate Brewer running on that backside, had a beautiful through ball. I think Brewer should have taken a touch before trying to take the shot. Unfortunately, as a freshman, sometimes you feel a little rushed, and I think that was the case there for Brewer there, thinking she had to take that one-time touch to get the shot off, but she really did have more time, I think, to take a quick first touch, get her head up, and then try to slot it low into the backside corner. Just unfortunately did not get a good shot off there, but still a good look.
And it looked like a frustration foul on Brewer. A little shove into the back. Give another free kick for North Texas. That'll be foul number 10 on the night for Alabama. Loose ball down, around, and into the back of the net. North Texas knots it up. All it takes is one play.
Well done there for North Texas. That got the crowd up on their feet, got this stadium rumbling. And you have to be careful on where you're going to foul North Texas, because that ball came all the way from the other half. Ogden with the boot sails it deep into the box. And it turned into a scramble there, but at the end of the day, it is Summer Brown who gets the equalizer. The veteran coming through, picking it up. First touch on the ball, at a reach of leg, and able to get North Texas back into this game. What a finish.
The first goal of the season for North Texas goes to Summer Brown, and Coach Hedlund talked to us earlier in the week saying she can be, if she puts together a great couple years to finish out her career and stays healthy, could go down as one of the best scorers that the program has seen, and we just saw it right there in the 80th minute. 1-1. It's a game once again for North Texas.
Summer Brown, the junior, proving why she's on the AAC preseason watch list. Phenomenal strike to be able to send it into the corner like that and get North Texas back in this game. That has got to be a confidence booster for the Mean Green.
Brown, the team's least returning leading scorer from last season, at 7 goals in the 2023 campaign, and just got her first of likely many ahead this season.
And we had just talked about how we felt Alabama might have been getting a little comfortable in this game. They didn't seem to be pressuring as much as they had earlier on. And I said you got to be careful about that, because the second you start laying off, you're giving the other team some chances to try to build confidence and get something going, and that's exactly what we saw there. North Texas now back in this game, tying it up.
Another opportunity this time, and that is a response if you've ever seen one. Gianna Paul, the impact player for the Crimson Tide tonight. That's about as quick of a response as you can have just a minute later. And Alabama right back on top.
I was going to say, do you think they have an earpiece in? They can hear this broadcast, us talking about how they were sitting back a little too much. Gianna Paul, I mean, there's no one else that you could expect from the Crimson Tide to respond the way we just saw there. Paul just showing off what she does best, her speed, her skill. You have to be mindful of where Paul is on the pitch at all times, because she will punish you, as we just saw in helping Crimson Tide get that lead back. maybe a minute after North Texas scored, if that. What a response from Alabama. And here she is, running unmarked on the backside. You have to be aware at all times where she is, and because of that mistake and a poor clearance by North Texas there to be able to get the ball out, Gianna does a great job, takes a touch, slots it out of reach from Ogden.
Yeah, the 2 goals, one from Summer Brown, the other from Gianna Paul, 92 seconds apart from each other. 92 seconds, that's as much time as North Texas was evened up once again with Alabama. It is crazy how the momentum can shift that quickly, and we have another yellow against North Texas. It looks like it'll be up against Bushko. So 8 minutes to go. The crowd that was loud just a couple minutes ago has gone silent.
I think a good call by the referee there to give Bushko the yellow, as that was a tackle from behind. Lucky that couldn't have been worse for her, and it was just a yellow card. It kind of looked like one of those frustration fouls. She was behind the ball, she was just a step behind and didn't win it, and then ended up tackling from behind, causing the foul. Just one of those moments as a freshman you learn from as you grow in this game.
There's Gianna Paul. After her first goal of the season, just about every team that faces Alabama is going to talk, okay, how do we stop Paul? When they're doing their game film, doing their prep, they're going to have to keep an eye on number 14 all game long.
Absolutely. Everybody's going to have their eyes on her, and it's already proving that there are eyes on her, as she is on the SEC preseason watch list. She's the 2024 Herman Trophy watch list and U.S. Coaches Player to Watch. So everybody is excited to see what she can do this year at Alabama, because she truly is a talented player.
Just over 7 to go here in Denton, Texas. Start as a hot first half, 103 degrees. As we got things started, temperatures dropping down into the 90s now as the sun has set. Closing off a hot first week of action on campuses across the country, and especially in Texas. After this road trip for the Crimson Tide, we'll return back home to Tuscaloosa as they'll take on North Alabama, a local matchup, before heading right back on the road again. Meanwhile, for North Texas, stay home a couple more games next week, Texas Southern and Prairie View A&M, before heading on the road for the first time this season against Texas A&M Commerce to close out the month of August. 2 tough opponents for North Texas to start the season, and that's something that Coach Hedlund wanted. He wanted to see how this freshman and experience combo would work. Talk about 4 freshmen starting tonight for North Texas. Just goes to show that he's putting faith in them early in the season, just seeing how they respond to that pressure.
He really is. He's very confident in that. Those 12 freshmen coming in, he wanted to test them early, and I don't want to jinx anything, but if North Texas walks away from this weekend going 0-2, those are must-win games for them next weekend. And they are the favorite, but at this level, you can't underestimate anyone. You can't prepare less for Texas Southern, Texas A&M Commerce, some of the other teams they're going to see here in the next coming weeks. You can't prepare any less than you would for an Oklahoma or an Alabama. You got to make sure everything is on point, especially after the results of this weekend. Those wins are going to be even more needed for them as far as their RPI, where they're going to rank. That RPI, that's going to be a big thing for any team as you get closer going towards that NCAA tournament.
Yeah, North Texas really trying to bounce back from a tough stretch to end the 2023 season, missing the conference tournament just by a hair in their inaugural season with the American, and It's just been trying to find how they can get back on track. A lot of years of success. Still looking for that next NCAA tournament appearance. It's been several years, but Coach Hedlund believes in this young squad and the future that they'll bring to this program. As we enter the 5-minute mark left in the second half.
This really is going to be a redemption year for North Texas. Last year, just an odd season for them. They were talented. It's not like they were not talented by any means, but Coach Hedlund said this year's team definitely has a lot more depth to them. Last year, the fact that they didn't even make it into the conference tournament, that was shocking. So you know this year, North Texas, they're going to be more hungrier than ever to prove themselves and get back into contention to potentially win a conference championship, but at least make it to the conference tournament.
This could be one of the final good looks for North Texas at the corner, trying to even it at 2. Alabama's defense stands strong on the corner. Sending it over to the net. Flannery right over to Laie. And right to her for yet another save. Now 6 saves on the evening for Laie.
It really was a great service there on the corner. Wesco was in the box, able to get ahead on it. It just unfortunately went to the other side. North Texas doing a good job staying calm, recollecting themselves to pass it around and let Flannery get a look at the goal. Just too direct and easy for Laie to save.
This will be the first yellow against Alabama tonight. So another opportunity for North Texas. Giving the yellow appears to be against Smith. Now another opportunity to Richards. See what they can put together. Richards high, and this one sailing too far. Really wants to get that one back, you can tell.
I love the tenacity that she has to try to go to goal. And it's not necessarily a bad idea, but you're a great opponent. You have to come up with something more dangerous than that. A wasted opportunity, unfortunately, for North Texas. I would have liked to see her, obviously, if she was going to go to goal, at least put it on frame, or simply just send it in and try to get one of your teammates to deflect it and redirect it towards goal.
Paul with a good pass up front. And Crimson Tide still on the attack with the 2-1 advantage and just over 3 minutes to play. North Texas has to go across the field and go so quickly.
And that's the thing with the clock winding down. Yes, if you are North Texas, you need to play quicker, make those decisions faster, but you don't want the clock to start running you and get you frazzled and throw you off of your game plan. But yeah, your decisions, they need to be better. Every move that you make, it counts just that much more when the clock is not on your side.
Henderson double teamed, kicked out, and possession arrow for North Texas. Good defense from North Texas. But once again, as you mentioned, time running thin as we have a late match substitution for North Texas.
I think this is a good idea, trying to get Alexis Miller back in the mix. Mia Bernard stepping out. Miller, I think, can bring that spark that North Texas needs to try to get themselves back in the game with an equalizer. She's physical, she's strong. And so hopefully she can raise the level of North Texas.
They need to hurry too. Clock continues to run. Now a little bit of keep away. Alabama's done a great job at that throughout the match.
Alabama just trying to run the clock, take it to the corner. Unfortunately, get caught off sides right there. Those are the little decisions that add up. There was no reason to be offsides in that position, because now what you've done is you send the ball back to Ogden, who's going to send it right back down with the leg that she's got. This is going to get deep into the Alabama's half over here.
Yeah, the first time, too, for Alabama to be offside in this contest. Comes at an interesting time of keep away. Here's another chance. North Texas. Wesco trying to get involved, sending it over to the far side, just trying to keep it in play. Just over a minute to play, sends it back over the crossbar. Would have been an amazing goal for North Texas. Just being able to turn around and get a shot on goal. Impressive, but just a foot too high for Brown.
What a look from Brown. We saw her win that 50-50 with her speed, but she was far out on the corner there, beats her defender, whips her hips around.
Wow.
And for the Crimson Tide, the crossbar is the hero of that play, as it was clearly out of reach from Laguerre to be able to get Brown just putting it in inches away from getting the equalizer.
An amazing move from Brown. Just a foot off for the Mean Green, a chance to tie it. And now just over 20 seconds to go as the crossbar play pretty much solidifies the outcome for tonight's match. So Alabama will get their first win on the season, number 20 team in the country. Had a tough match on Thursday, falling 3-0 to TCU, but the response in DFW is felt here on Saturday, winning 2-1 over North Texas. It was a great second half from both sides. I think the level of play got even better after halftime. Great adjustments on both sides, but at the end of the day, Alabama the better team.
Both of these teams should be happy in the way that they elevated their game. Coach Hart with Alabama has to be happy with how his team responded. After losing 3-0 against TCU, this was a completely different team what we saw here tonight. Much more successful, obviously, getting the first win of the season. And then for North Texas, I know it might not have been their best game the whole 90 minutes, but they really shined here in